Hey, I guess that's the trick. Just not putting your finger in front of the camera, I guess. Sort of like that. Oh, right. Oh, like that. It's kind of like opposite. Sort of like the principles that we live by, opposite of what Jesus taught. And someone's calling my videos theological. Well, theology is just a big word for another big word, doctrine. It just teaching about God is really what it means. Theo meaning God, and logi, or anyway, like study. Anyway, study about God, which I guess is the playlist that I've entitled "Faith" is sort of what it's all about. But and of course, the channel is about life, and I would share a lot of that, and it's about fun, and there's gonna be more coming. Just working on logistics. So anyway, Matthew chapter 10. So we're just gonna start at verse 1. See how far we get. Okay, and pardon me, I'm just reading from my phone. And if you hear a ding or a buzz or whatever, just because I don't know how to turn off the messenger volume when I'm trying to use the iPad at the same time. Okay. And when he had called 12 disciples to him, he gave them power over unclean spirits to cast them out and heal all kinds of sickness and all kinds of disease. Now, the names of the 12 apostles are these: first Simon, who is called Peter, and Andrew his brother, James the son of Zebedee, and John his brother, Philip and Bartholomew, Thomas and Mathew the tax collector, James the son of Alphaeus. Oh, okay, and yeah, Alphaeus. Oh, I guess that was and Labius, whose surname was Thaddeus. Okay, that's the S family. Simon the Canaanite, and Judas Iscariot, who betrayed him. Yeah, he was given the authority too, which is pretty amazing. So now Jesus sent out the 12, verse 5. He commanded them, don't go to the way of the Gentiles, don't enter the city of the Samaritans, but go to the lost sheep of the tribes of the house of Israel. And just go preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out demons. Freely you receive, freely give. And he goes on to say, don't take an extra pair of sandals, don't take an extra credit card. Okay, they didn't have credit cards, but if he was speaking today, then he probably would have said something like that. Okay, so basically, just going with what you have, and not taking the extra. Now, when they talked verse, carry on 11 to 15, when they entered a house or a city, a town, they were supposed to basically find out if the people there were interested in hearing what they had to say, and if they weren't, they were supposed to shake the dust off of their feet of that town. Can't really relate to that today, I guess, unless I guess you're at the beach and your feet are wet and they're all sandy and stuff. You kind of dust your feet off. I guess it'd be sort of a similar comparison. I don't know. And basically, they were supposed to leave because if people weren't interested in listening, and as Jesus said before, don't cast your pearl before swine. If your words aren't going to be listened to, then basically they were supposed to leave. And if not, then they would stay, and then they would give that message, and then that leader, that person, that house become the leader, and they would proclaim the message. So I was just listening to loveisrael.org, the channel, and just got a few thoughts from that. So, and then in fact, then he's saying in verse 15, the judgment against that town for rejecting Christ, for rejecting the words that the disciples were there to preach. It would be more severe than that of Sodom and Gomorrah, and that's pretty severe. And I was kind of going to do that in addition to videos, but we're going to carry on. Verse 16, behold, I send you as sheep in the midst of wolves. Okay, now, just think of some wolves and think of some sheep. And before we talked about how there were wolves that looked like sheep, here it says, I've sent you out as sheep in the midst of wolves. And Jesus sends us out in the midst of wolves, and there may be some wolves that look like sheep. Therefore be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you to councils and scourge you in their synagogue. You will be brought before governors and kings for my sake, as a testimony to them and to the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, do not worry about how or what you should speak. That doesn't mean don't be prepared, because we're supposed to give an answer to those who ask a reason for the hope that is in us. But if I had done this as a second video, I would have called it persecution is coming, suffering is coming for believers. I believe that. Don't know when. It's already started. But yeah, the importance of standing up for the truth. You'll say, there was the Spirit that would speak to them. Imagine, the disciples, and most of the disciples, and all but one, and that was John, and he was exiled to the Isle of Patmos. The rest all died a martyr's death. And we know there's lots of martyrs, Christian martyrs, dying for their faith these days in the world. Goes on to talk about parents rising up against children rising against parents, and so on to the end of the chapter, to verse 33. So just maybe a bit of rambling. Maybe that's too much for you to handle. It's a lot for one video, but I wanted to share those thoughts as I was looking at this passage this morning. And so we'll leave that for now. That's all from Matthew chapter 10, verses 1 to 33. And have a good night. I had a good day. Had a good day with family, and it was really good seeing family I hadn't seen for a couple of years because of something called the pandemic, which I guess you all know about. Anyway, I'm going to sign off for now, and we'll talk to you soon, and would appreciate any comments, likes, and of course subscribe to this channel. I'll talk to you soon.